Welcome back to Passionately Catholic. Here's what we're going to take a look at today. Materialism a little bit. We're going to kind of wrestle with that a little bit, okay? You know, this idea that stuff is going to make me happy. Well, I want to share with you a radical story, a radical testimony from one of the great saints of the Catholic Church, St. Francis of Assisi, who died in the early 13th century, early 1200s. He was born early 1100s, early 12th century. St. Francis of Assisi went through a conversion experience as a young man in which he completely turns his life over to God. And it's a very, very powerful experience. And it took him some time to go through this. I mean, it's relatively quickly, but it took him some time to realize his vocation, what God is calling him to, all of that stuff. Now, here's the thing. Francis in Assisi, his father was like a cloth merchant, if you will. Okay, now his dad was gone on business when Francis really started to feel this calling toward God, and he was ready to give up everything. He realized that material stuff is not gonna make me happy. If you agree with that, be sure to like this video and subscribe so you can get more Passionately Catholic content every time that we release it. Francis was like, you know, stuff is not gonna make me happy, okay? And it's not gonna fulfill anybody. So he went and he took his dad's fabric, okay? He took his dad's resources that dad sold, dad's business, okay? He took his stuff and he sold it off, okay? And then he gave the money to the poor. Okay, imagine this. Imagine that you did this to your dad when you were a young man or a young lady, that you went into your dad's business and you sold off all of his assets, okay, and you gave all the money to the poor. This is what Francis does, right? Okay, now his dad comes back and his dad is absolutely furious about what's going on. Okay, I mean, shocker. The dad would be mad about this kind of situation, right? Well, it gets to a situation where Francis's dad hauls Francis into the public square in front of the local bishop, and he's like, you've got to make Francis, you know, renounce his inheritance, renounce everything. I'm not going to give him anything, or he needs to pay it all back. You know, Francis's dad is just furious about all of this mess, right? Well, Francis is ready for this, and he knows what he's going to do. Now, Francis, I love this because he has this total abandonment to physical stuff, because he realizes that everything that we desire, perfect goodness, perfect truth, perfect beauty, perfect love, perfect health, eternal life, all this that we're called to can only be found in God, and eternal life with God in heaven, right? That's what we're all made for. So Francis, he enters the public square and he renounces his inheritance, his anything that his father would give him, so much so that here's what Francis does. Francis strips himself naked in the public square in front of everybody, completely naked, and he gives his clothes back to his father in the midst of everyone, saying, I don't want anything worldly from you. I give it back to you, and I give myself completely to the Lord. So the bishop, you know, at the sight of this, the bishop, of course, wraps up St. Francis, you know, in his robes, and then finds a simple tunic for Francis to wear that he would continue to wear as he would start to launch the Franciscans and all of this kind of stuff. But I love this radically, passionately Catholic demonstration that St. Francis of Assisi done. Now, is this the best idea? That's not really modest. I'm not saying to go do this, okay? Don't say that Anthony Digmann from Passionately Catholic told you to walk out into the middle of the public square, you know, and make an indecent show of yourself. That's not what I'm saying, okay? But what I am saying is what Francis did here. I mean, this is heroic virtue. This guy was making clear that no physical things are going to make us happy, okay? And he completely abandons himself to the Lord. May we all do that as well. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, subscribe so you can get more Passionately Catholic content from us, and especially a huge thank you goes out to our patrons who make everything we do here at Passionately Catholic possible. I look forward to being in touch with you again very soon. God bless.